Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bailey. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more content at baileystewartmgmt. Today's video is exciting because I feel like I have been so it's just been like drop after drop after drop with like the brands I work with, like Buff Bunny, ALPHALETE, Define, that I just really haven't had time to go back to doing more like unsponsored reviews. Obviously, I'm always honest even when I work with the brand, but I wanted to try out some new brands because I feel like I haven't done that in a while. I've just been so busy, and this brand caught my eye. Like, I follow them on Instagram, I've been seeing their stuff, and then someone specifically I think told me like they recommended this like style legging and said it gave Define Impact Lift, and that alone is like, I have to order. So I placed an order and it came so fast because it's not in the US. It's not a US owned brand. I was like shocked at how fast the shipping was. One thing I will say is that the pricing is a little bit higher, and I think it might be because they aren't in the US, so maybe they factored like tariffs into the cost. That's where my mind went, because I was like, dang, this is kind of pricier brands I work with. And now that I'm like thinking about it, it's probably because they have to factor in tariffs into the price. That's at least my guess. So some of the pieces are pricier, just letting you guys know. I don't work with them. Again, this is unsponsored. I unfortunately don't have a code, but I will have the link to everything down below. We will start with this piece because it's almost sold out. So if you like Honor Active soft motion straight legs, but maybe have shorter glutes, shorter torso, I think you're really gonna like these. So we have their Charming Pro Scrunch straight leg pants, and I got the color khaki. Now it was $89.99. Yeah, so that hurt a little bit. That's definitely the most expensive like straight legs I think on the market. I think it is slightly overpriced for what it is. Like, granted, I like it, but I think like obviously it needs a few tweaks. But I still think $89 for straight legs when like, I don't know, I guess I'm used to like the highest price being like a Buff Bunny $74 flare or legging. So just seeing $89 was like, oh, this is Lululemon price. And I don't really shop Lululemon because I'm like, dang. They dropped 3 colors. And I really hope that it comes back and we get more inseams, because the inseam is the main issue I have with these. While it measures like, I think it was like 32, when on, because it's a scrunch, and once you put it in the cheeks, it becomes shorter. So I really feel like they need a more inseam options, because even as a 5'4" girly, these were too short for me. So yeah, I'm hoping that since majority of these sold out quick, that means that they'll drop more inseam options, because unless you're shorter than 5'4", these are probably gonna hit at like a too short of an inseam. Like, again, it is a scrunch, so you have to accommodate losing some inches because of the scrunch, because you're pulling it in the cheeks. Their scrunch reminds me of like an ALPHALETE, the ALPHALETE invisible scrunch, or like a, not really, I said aggressive scrunch in the try on. Maybe it is, actually, I don't know. I need to like go back and examine the scrunches. It's kind of like an invisible scrunch where it's got the ruching, a stretchy glute seam. Yeah, and it's a short glute seam and a short V seam, which rarely happens. So for that alone, I love these 20 times more than Honor Active straight leg. Because I have such short glutes, the Honor Active straight legs just go, that seam goes up my back. It is definitely for long glute girls, not short glute girls. So this glute seam gets me like, looks 20 times better. Goes in the cheeks. The V seam hits right at the top, so it doesn't go up my back, makes my glutes look perkier. And the rise is mid-rise. So not only is it for short glute girls, they made it for short torso girls, which we are heavily neglected by a lot of brands right now. I think we're slowly starting to see mid-rise come back and shorter glute seams. But for years, brands just made everything ultra high-rise to high-rise, and the glute seams up our backs unless you had long glutes. Like, it's like they didn't even realize that different glute heights existed. So whenever I see a brand that like actually pays attention to that stuff and has different seam variations for the short glute girls, I immediately am a fan. Okay, so mid-rise, lower tummy control, but I will say it's more compressive and more true to size than Honor Active straight leg. Honor Active straight legs, I need an extra small because it feels like they're falling off me a little bit. Like there's just absolutely no compression anywhere, and I feel like these fit me a lot better. I feel I don't need to size down in these. It's true to size, but still a comfortable lower compression moment, but it's not too big. Two things that again that I'm like, I really wish were different is I wish they would have dropped more inseam options, and I wish it didn't have a top seam. It definitely digs into my waist, making it look more unflattering than it is. So I don't love a top seam in the waistband because it always does that, whereas when it's flat, it looks more flattering on my waist. I don't feel like I'm being cut in, whereas the top seam just digs in. It does help it stay up better, which I understand, but I really hope they get rid of that because it's not very flattering or comfortable. So yeah, I just don't love the top seam, but I love everything else. The fabric is also a true, in my opinion, buttery, so like you think a buttery soft fabric, that is exactly what this is. The fabric is very, very nice. And with Honors, it's kind of like their soft motion in the flares, especially the yellow one I got. Gosh, that felt like microfiber. That felt like pre-pilled thin fabric. It didn't even really feel like buttery smooth. It was soft for sure, but it had like a weird texture to it that I just like, I don't mind, like I'll still buy and wear it, but it's not a favorite. Like I definitely prefer Buff Bunny Butter over it. I prefer this fabric over it. This is still a thinner, lightweight fabric, but it's still thicker and a more true buttery soft fabric than Honors. This doesn't have that texture to it like Honor Soft Motion. You've got the tonal sewn in like logo, so it's not like a defined logo. It's like sewn in and you can like feel it. This is a close-up of, again, the scrunch, short V-seam. Again, it starts going straight leg, kind of right at the bottom of the quad, right above the knee. It's just the inseam. I'm like, we need a long option, and then I'd be fine. Even if it still keeps the top seam, as long as I got a long inseam, like I'm good. These are so much more flattering than Honor Soft Glute Seam, so I would definitely probably buy more, even though it's pricier. I just think it looks much better on the short torso, short glute gals. I'd rather pay a little bit more to get something that I'm more confident in personally. Obviously, if you have long glutes or don't care about like where the glute seam hits and like the texture of Honor Soft Motion, you'll probably still really like those. It's also a little bit cheaper. Until there's, again, more inseam options, the taller girlies aren't even going to be able to buy these because it's just going to be way too short. So I really hope they do more inseam options, because even I, as a 5'4" girl, want to get a taller inseam option. But overall, I really like these. The color is khaki, so again, exactly like it sounds, kind of like a greenish brown. I really hope they drop more colors. I'm not the biggest fan of the color selection, but I was like, I really want to try these. I just wish we had like, I just wish there were like different colors. Like imagine this red in it with this set. That would have been so cute. Fabric composition is 78% polyester and 22% elastane. Again, lower compression, very stretchy, buttery soft. Would go back for more. Honestly, I would. I think that's exactly like, I want Buff Bunny and ALPHALETE to do something like that. Straight legs with a scrunch that has a short glute V-seam. And no brands really do that. Like Navigation is dropping a straight leg and that glute seam is up the back. Even on all the athletes I've seen, that glute seam is up the back. I don't love. It was Vitality's dropping a straight leg. That glute seam, that goes to her shoulders, okay? Like, I'm over brands not paying attention to that. Here are these straight legs in extra small. They're very true to size. I actually like the fit, like compression level, better than like the Honor Active one. I like the rise better. I like the glute seam so much better. My beef is just that it has a top seam. I hate a top seam. And then there's only one inseam, so it's hitting me not somewhere I personally like. I like mine to like literally touch the floor, and I feel like a lot of brands, and obviously like I'm 5'4", so if you are taller, these are gonna be high waters on you. So hopefully we see multiple inseams soon. And then to get rid of the top seam, I hate a top seam with a passion. I just think it cuts into the waist, so unflattering. So I just don't love a top seam. It flares out right at the bottom of the quad, right before the knees. But as you can see, like the inseam just a lot shorter. Like, so I hope we start to see more inseams. The fabric also is very different from Honor Active's. This is more kind of like it's buttery soft. I actually kind of like this fabric better than Honor's. Honor's is, again, very similar to like microfiber, insanely thin, and almost feels pre-pilled. This is like thicker, a little bit more compressive, so I feel like I don't even need to size down, whereas in Honor's I want to do an extra small. But I also love the rise on this one. But yeah, the quality feels thicker. It feels more true, like buttery soft than Honor's. I like this fabric so much more. I love the design so much more. I just wish they would, one, add more inseams, and two, get rid of this top band. But I love the rise. I love so it's got kind of like Buff Bunny aggressive scrunch, and it's got a short V-seam. Like, I love finding brands that actually like pay attention to glute seams and don't just make everything for long glute girls. So TEVEO, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. You ate, okay? We just need more inseams, because even if the top seam stays, I would still buy more, because this is so much flattering on the backside than Honor Active Mellow Soft for the short glute girlies. Sorry, not Mellow Soft. Than Honor Active's straight leg for the short glute girlies. Like, the straight legs do not have a short glute seam whatsoever, so it goes up my back. This one finally does not. It's also short torso friendly. Like, I just wish the inseam was longer. But I love a straight leg because it makes you look thick, like your quads look thicker than obviously like a legging and even a flare. Something about straight legs, it's just so flattering. I want them to do more colors. I only had this one, black, and I think another like neutral. I really hope they come out with more inseams, because I just have to give them props, because so many straight legs are coming on the market and no brand right now is paying attention to glute seams. And it's driving me bananas, because like, hey, short glute girls exist. And then we have the Charming Pro lifted scrunch shorts, and I got the color Moon, and these are $64.99, which is honestly kind of like legging price. So definitely, again, more expensive. When I put it out of the package, I was like, ooh, I'm not gonna like these, because I could like, they just were so stretchy, and I was like, they're not gonna give me any lift. I was wrong. I was wrong. So the design is more similar to, I would say, Buff Bunny Miracle, but the fabric is very different. It's just got the ribbing that goes around the glutes, kind of also like Bowen tees, like their older style, although I still feel like they might still have these, but this gives much better lift than those. And like, even the like ribbing is like stretchy, so I was like, this is gonna give no lift. But it gave lift. Like, once I put it on, I was like, dang, okay. Now the leg opening is definitely less compressive than like Defined Impact, so it does slightly roll. It's also a shorter inseam, 5-inch inseam, but it does, you know how like ALPHALETE will have like the contour will be labeled 5-inch, but when you put it on, you're like, bro, this feels like a 2. That's not the case on these at all. Maybe it's because of the rib, like compression ribbing, that's making it stay put a little bit better. But I was like, wait, are these, they're not biker, but they're like a good in-between of like biker and short shorts. Like, they did slightly roll, but not bad at all. I think if the leg opening were a little bit tighter, it would be even better. But it hit at a really good spot where I didn't feel like I was wearing booty shorts, but I also didn't feel like it was too long. The shorter girlies would still really like this inseam. It'd probably be like a true biker on them. And it had a short V-seam and short scrunch. It made my top glutes look so perky because it hit right at the perfect spot. Again, I'm telling you, if for short glute girls at least, but even like, I guess like longer, like when this V-seam hits you at the perfect spot, right at the top, not past, your glutes look so much perkier than when it goes up your back. Because think about it. It's like contouring where all your volume is, and it's kind of like giving that like shelf look, whereas when it goes up your back, you don't have volume on your back. So it's making your glutes, top glutes looks flatter than they are, because it's like making it look like your back is your glute when it's not, and you don't have like volume like you do in your glutes on your back. So that's like my thinking behind it, but I loved where the V-seam hit. It was short glute friendly. I loved where the ribbing hit, and it gave lift. Not as much lift as like Define Impact. I would say it gave very similar lift to Buff Bunny Miracle, to be honest. Like, I feel like my glutes look just as good in these as it did in that. For the girlies that maybe wanted a shorter inseam, you could try this. The scrunch is weird though. I won't lie, the scrunch is weird. It goes in my cheeks though, so it's not noticeable, but I do think maybe if you have smaller glutes and the scrunch can't go in the cheeks as much, it might look a little weird. I don't know, I have to look back at the footage, but it's like two scrunches. Like, it's weird. It's got this thick scrunch at the bottom, and then it goes into this like sewn scrunch, ruching. So I thought that was really, really interesting. It gave the same kind of like in cheeks effect as like a Define Impact scrunch. Like, it didn't go way up in there. It kind of like sat out a little bit, but still gave glute separation and was still insanely flattering. Now, it has a vertical rib band with no tearing and no tapering, and it's just vertical. It's a thicker band. It's low tummy control. It just kind of sits there. I don't really feel like it's snatching. I wish it did, but I still like it. I don't feel like I have to pull up the waistband at all. And again, it's mid-rise, so very, very flattering on a short torso girl. I loved the rise. This definitely makes me want to try the leggings, but I think the shorts are probably going to be the most flattering, and I will be going back for more. The seamless fabric reminds me of Bow & T seamless. It's not like an Amplify. I feel like it's definitely sturdier than like ALPHALETE Contour. It's slicker than Buff Bunny Miracle. And I would say Define Impact is a little bit slicker and stiffer, sturdier of a fabric. I don't mind this though, and I think it is gonna be pretty durable for your workouts. So this is 90% polyamide and 10% elastane, made in Turkey, and it's kind of got the same like logo as like ALPHALETE has, Define has, where it's like that sewn in. Yeah, I did extra small. I feel like it's very true to size. If there was an extra small, I could probably even do that too, but I think whatever size you get in Buff Bunny Miracle or Define Impact, you could stick with in these. We'll definitely be going back for more. Because when I pulled it out of the package, I was really ready to like be like, oh, I don't like anything. Because flat lay, it just looked like it had no lift. It looked like it ran big, but when on, it fit great. All right, here are these shorts, and I did extra small. That's the smallest size. And I was not, like, when I pulled them out of the package, I was like, ooh, I don't think I'm gonna like these. Just because I could, like, it was a very slick, it's a very stretchy fabric, and I was like, they're not gonna have any lift. Like, there was a lot of stretch in the compression area. But now that I have them on, I really like them. I'm like, dang. They still, I feel like, don't have as much compression as like Define Impact, and the design itself is a little bit more like Buff Bunny Miracle, because the ribbing is literally just like a ribbing band under the glutes. It doesn't go all the way down. And the inseam, like, even though it's not like a biker, it's still got a really good inseam. So it doesn't really roll, but again, the leg opening is nowhere near as tight as, again, Define Impact. The rise is mid-rise. I do love that it is mid-rise. I love where it hits. Again, not many brands do mid-rise. They're slowly starting to, but for like years, everything was ultra high rise or high rise. So anytime I see a brand doing mid rise, I'm like, yes, us short torso girls eat this up. But the tummy control is very low. Like it's kind of just sitting there. There's no compression happening, but it stays put really well. I don't feel like I have to keep readjusting. And you guys know, it is so hard to find a legging short that is short glute friendly. Like so many brands do long glute seams that go up our back if you have short glutes. And this one, it is short glute friendly. I'm so happy. The V-seam and scrunch hit right at the top of my glutes, which again, you can just see how much perkier it makes the top of the glutes look than when I wear like a short or legging that has like the V-seam going up my back. And again, like I think that's really helping, because I think if it were like a different like V-seam or higher up, then I wouldn't look as like perky. But then you've also got the under glute compression right here, which when on, definitely like you can feel the lift. I was really nervous it was going to be absolutely no lift, so I'm very, very happy and surprised with these. I want more for sure. I will be going back for more. I think they're very, very flattering. And the scrunch is a little different though. Like, it's not like I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like two different scrunches. It's a really weird looking scrunch, to be honest, but when on, like, it's fine. It gives kind of the same glute separation level as Define Impact. Doesn't go way up in the cheeks, but still gives some separation, but it doesn't go way up in there. Yeah, I don't mind the scrunch at all. I just love where the V-seam hits. I like the compression level. Obviously, I'd love if it went all the way down, but I think it's still giving really good lift. And I love the inseam. It stays put really well. It doesn't roll. Like, I think I'm pleasantly surprised. Now the side glute, again, because the compression doesn't go all the way down, you kind of get the Buff Bunny Miracle side glute thing happening where it's just like a bulge, versus if it were all the way down, it would lift that and give it a more smoother effect than this. Oh, I really like these. Again, I would go back for more. I love that it's mid-rise. I think the inseam, while it is shorter, it's staying put really well and feels long enough. Doesn't feel like a 4.5. Low tummy control though. I would definitely say if in between, you could size down. It's not as tight as Define Impact, like the leg area. It kind of reminds me of like the bow and tee legging material. It's a very stretchy fabric. Again, you've only got the compression back right, like in that line right under the glutes. So I feel like sizing is a lot more lenient to size down than like Define Impact. And you don't have to worry about the waistband being too tight or the leg opening. Like if there were an extra small, I could probably still do that for an even more compressive fit. But overall, I'm very, very happy with how the extra small fits. I feel like I'm getting a really good lift. I feel like in place. I feel like it's a very high supportive fabric, and the quality of the seamless is pretty nice. Like it doesn't feel like ALPHALETE Amplify or Contour, so I feel like it's much sturdier. Like I feel like you could sit on turf and this would not pill. A little bit scratchier and again stretchier than like Define Impact. Like it doesn't have that slick, sturdy feel. It's a little bit scratchier. Slicker than Buff Bunny though. Like Buff Bunny is like a softer, scratchy seamless. This is still scratchy, but slicker than Buff Bunny. Overall, I really like the quality. I do think you could still see crotch sweat if like it's a super intense hot workout, so keep that in mind. I really like this gray. Again, I think it's very, very flattering on the back side. Let's put in a sticker just to see sheerness. Obviously it goes in, although I don't know, I actually don't think it does. I feel like this fabric feels the exact same right here as it does everywhere else. You've just got the ribbing right here, but it works. Like it's still got enough stretch. Whereas like with like, for example, ALPHALETE Pump, it's like really thick fabric even on the glute pocket area, so it kind of compresses. Whereas this still has enough stretch to where it doesn't. And then a little bit sheer. So if you have a glute tattoo, the lighter colors, you might slightly see it, but I don't feel like this is that bad. Like I am going to be doing legs, RDLs, like, and feel comfortable in it. Nude thong, but again, I don't have any like glute tattoos. Yeah, if you like Define Impact but maybe want like a comfier leg opening, honestly, I'm gonna give these like an 8 out of 10. These are really freaking good. I will be buying more. And then I also got the matching long sleeve. Now, I got the Charming Pro long sleeve in the color Moon as well, and this was the same price as the shorts. Same material as the shorts as well. 80% polyamide, 10% elastane, made in Turkey. It's, again, definitely a slicker fabric, stretchier fabric than like ALPHALETE Amplify. Reminds me the most of Bow & T's seamless fabric. Like, that's kind of what it most feels like if you've tried that. They have the long sleeve and it is true to size. I was a little nervous it was gonna, like, 'cause the opening just looked so wide. I was like, oh my gosh, the sleeves are just gonna gape. But it laid flat. I raised my arms, I could bend over. I got no gaping, no lifting of the straps. The only thing I had is, like, I would love to be able to size down to like make the waist a little bit more fitted and snatching, but it still felt very true to size. The sleeves now are a little bit shorter. I feel like they should be lengthened and tightened a little bit, especially down at the bottom, because I feel like I kept having to pull it down. Like, this is like long. This sleeve, I have plenty of length, whereas in this one, I have to keep pulling it so it doesn't like become like that. So my only issue with this is I feel like the arms should be a little bit longer. It's meet and greet length, so hit me right at the top of the waistband, covered my belly button but didn't hit at my hip bones on a short torso girly. This might hit a little bit shorter if, again, you have a long torso. I loved that it had a built-in shelf bra, so I didn't even need to wear a bra with this top. It's got removable cups. Also comes with other cup pads that have a little push-up effect. I'm like, okay, as an IBTC girly, I'm here for it, okay? It's got the TEVEO in white logo on the back, but very, like, no logo on the front, which I really like because then you can wear it casually as well, not just as a gym top. But it is a seamless fabric, so will hold up throughout your workout. Again, as a narrow chest girly with short shoulders, I got no gaping. The straps right here laid flat. Then it's got this ruching detail in the front. I honestly think I would go back for more for these two. Even though it's $64, it is a good top. My only, again, tweak would be to make the sleeves a little bit longer. Here is the seamless top. I actually really like this. It's got a built-in shelf bra. I love this little neckline. It kind of reminds me of, oh, what bra? The Crop Shop Boutique bra that kind of has this like ruching and scrunch. And it's narrow chest friendly. Like, sometimes I was nervous that this top was not gonna be narrow chest friendly and gape. And even when I raise my arms, it lays flat. So I am pleasantly surprised with this top. I would definitely go back for more. I will say the sleeves are a little short and a little baggy. So like, I feel like I have to keep pulling the sleeves down. That's my only like downfall, is that it is a little bit of a shorter sleeve. But I love the built-in shelf bra with removable cups, and I can like bend stuff like this, like nothing's falling out. I don't feel like I need to wear a bra underneath. It's got an elastic band under, but yeah, no gaping, so I'm very happy with that. I stuck true to size. If they had an extra small, I'd probably prefer that, just to get rid of the like loose fabric right here to make it more like smooth and fitted, and maybe help with like the bagginess of the sleeve. But overall, I feel like it's very true to size. It is like a meet and greet length, so it hits right at the top of the waistband, little above the hip bones, but covers the belly button. It's the same seamless fabric as the shorts, so I really like that. I feel like it'll hold up really well throughout your workouts, but is also a top design-wise that you could also wear lifestyle-wise, which I really, really like. The back is very simple. Then we have the top that I'm currently wearing, which is the contrast line long sleeve top in cherry. Same price, $64.99. So this is the same fabric as well. This is giving Crop Shop Boutique, and one thing I love about their tops is it's giving Crop Shop Boutique vibes, which is my vibe. Like, that's my cup of tea. I did extra small, and the only thing is like this one definitely I feel like runs a little too big. Like, I wish that they would tweak the sleeve area literally like an inch on each side, and then it would stay put so much better. You wouldn't have this weird baggy effect that's happening. So I definitely think this needs to be tweaked because it's just too baggy. It's running so big in the arm area. And I just think it needs to come in again, an inch on each side, and it would be perfect. I love that the built-in, like, it's kind of like the Buff Bunny plunge bra. It's got really good side boob coverage. It's narrow chest friendly as well. So it's definitely gonna be lower support, but I think it would be BTC friendly because it kind of reminds me of the first Buff Bunny shaped seamless plunge bra from my collab. And I love that the neck strap is adjustable. It's got removable cups, and then again, the contrast band at the bottom. So again, lower support, no thumb holes. I do wish it did have thumb holes. I love this red. I'm so happy I got this color because this is such a beautiful cherry red. And I wish the straight legs would have come in it, but this is what the back looks like. I need to take this tag off since I'm definitely keeping it. But I love the back moment. The only thing is I can just see that, like, when you're like bending, squatting, working out, well, it stays put for the most part, but it is gonna probably keep like sliding off just because, at least for me, they're a little too baggy. So I do think maybe if in between you could size down for that. And I just love this 2-in-1 bra design. I think Crop Shop Boutique did something similar, but just in black and white. And this comes in so many other colors. Even though it is a little baggy, I love the design so much. I do think I would go back for more. I think it's so cute. It's like this is my vibe. It's kind of like, I wish like Buff Bunny and ALPHALETE would do more stuff like this because like, this eats. All right, last I had to try their BBL jacket, which is the Femi Shaping Zip Jacket in aubergine, and this was $79.99. I love this purple. Like, this purple is stunning. This is such a good jewel toned, like fall winter purple. I am very happy with the color I got. And this fabric is 48% polyamide, 40% polyester, and 12% elastane. Again, all their stuff is made in Turkey. I did extra small. The sleeve length, again, it's only that one seamless top that had too short of sleeves, because everything else, the sleeve length is perfect. This also has thumb holes, which I love, with like a ribbing down here. It's full zip with the collar, and then it's got that kind of like ribbing on the side. And same seamless fabric, that slicker seamless fabric, very stretchy like all of their other seamless pieces. It's not like, it's fitted everywhere, especially the arms, but not super snatching and compressive down here. Like, I do wish it was more fitted down here. And it's got a very severe curve, which I really like, because it does, even though it's not like compressing and super snatching, it gives the illusion of a smaller waist for that curve hem alone, which I really, really like. I love where it hits. I think it's very flattering. Now the back also has a curved hem, which I'm not loving, because I wish it went straight, just because in the back, like, it just keeps rolling to basically become straight where that little curve is. So that's just a little annoying. I feel like I keep having to readjust that. So I do wish the back was straight and then they just kept the curve the same in the front, just made it a little bit more compressive like everywhere else. But overall, I really like it. I think it's a very flattering jacket. It's a really good quality zipper too. And for $79, it better be. And then you've got, again, the ribbing collar. Okay, so here is the jacket. And this is their smallest size, an extra small. It's pretty fitted everywhere, but I do wish it was more snatching down here. This really isn't compressive. There's no snatching happening. However, it's still insanely flattering because of the cut alone. Like, you see, like, this is a very severe, like, curved hem, but I love it because it is like bringing my waist in so much more. Like, even though it doesn't snatch, that alone brings in the waist. I love that it has thumb holes. It's got a collar with full zip. Love this purple. And it's, again, same seamless fabric as everything else. I would definitely say if you want it more fitted down here, you could size down, but then you do risk the arm area becoming too snug. So I would probably recommend just staying true to size, but just know down here is gonna be like, it'll lay flat, but it's not gonna like there's no compression happening down here everywhere else, but just not down here. But again, that curved hem, that severe curved hem really does bring in the waist. It also severely curves in the back, which I don't love because that just keeps rolling. I kind of wish it was just like straight, because like the little curve wants to roll anyways, and so it's not laying flat, and part of me just wants to like cut it so it does. So that's my only thing. Like, I just wish they would make the back straight, then this little curve that just bunches up. But overall, I really like this. I will be keeping. I love the front. It's just the back that's, I'm like, All right, that is all for this TEVEO review. Overall, I give this brand an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10. I think I would go back for more colors and probably everything I bought, and that usually doesn't happen. It's definitely pricier, so I wouldn't go too crazy probably, but I really, really love that I found another brand that actually pays attention to glute seams. Now we just need a little bit more inseams, because I feel like their inseams are a little bit shorter. But I like this quality, the seamless. I love the compression shorts. I like the straight leg leggings, just need a little bit longer of an inseam option. I love the tops. So yeah, I'm very happy that I tried this brand. I would definitely buy more. They literally just dropped really cute sweat sets that I'm like, do I want to go back? They had a very fast, efficient shipping. Like, I swear it came in like under 2 days after placing my order. I was like, what? Because it doesn't even come from the US. And again, maybe the pricing also plays a part into that as well. I like this brand. If you have short torso, short glutes, I think you would really like this too. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I will see you guys in my next video. Love you, bye.